Well, all right. So, all right.
Thank you. Glad you're being very prompt.
7 o'clock.
Gotta wait for
We're
DJ.
waiting for DJ to sign this. Gotta zoom this.
Did you see a change?
Yep.
Yep.
You're all set.
I'm just double checking that. Yes. Good evening, everybody, and welcome the Board of Fire Commissioners monthly meeting for March the 17th, 16th. Thank you, Commissioner. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I believe in this. One day.
Take a moment of silence to honor all of our fallen members, brothers and sisters in the service. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Amen. We'll get an attendance going down. Approval of prior minutes from
Make a
February.
motion to approve February 9th minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation for the first time. Anyone from the public would like to speak? You're limited to 3 minutes. If anyone would like to speak,
Don't all jump at once.
anybody? Nobody? You'll have a second chance at the end. Communications, monthly reports. We'll start off with the Chief's monthly report. You would like to elaborate on anything, Chief?
Sir. Very good.
Okay.
He's in a very positive way.
Chief Regina, Chief LaPierre? Nothing? Chief Regina, Chief Stegmeyer? Like anything you'd like to elaborate on anything?
We'll bring it up here like new business.
Okay, and Marshall, DJ, would you like to elaborate on anything? You've had a very busy month.
Included in your packets, are open projects for the town. So there's an Excel spreadsheet that you'll see, we have about 63 open permits. Which means each one of those is a project. Some of those are multiple permits, like the bigger projects, 33 Berlin Turnpike. You'll see some that are, the actual construction of the buildings. There's some that are sprinkler, the sprinkler installation, so each building gets a sprinkler permit. There's a few tenant fit outs in there. But you can see, and I'm gonna keep that updated and I'll keep you guys, in the loop with those, but we have quite a bit of projects that go on. And obviously we're doing regular inspections on those properties. So above and beyond the regular inspection, that's all the new stuff that's coming in to the town. So we are significantly busy. The other thing that I just wanted to point out to everybody, back here next to me is John Sokolowski. At the last meeting, you guys voted to appoint John. So John is a member, his career position is a full-time firefighter in West Hartford. He currently holds the rank of, I think it's deputy chief. He just recently celebrated 20 years there. So John Sokolowski is going to be coming on to our staff as a per diem fire inspector. And I think he's going to fit in very well. I brought him tonight so he can meet everybody.
Welcome and congratulations.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As a proud son of a retired West Hartford firefighter, welcome aboard. My dad, Paul Whalen.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Long time.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you.
Has been assigned to our resident. We've really been pushing through. Trying to make the one, very effective, but two, trying to streamline the processes. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but our state's attorney's office to do inspection letters. So that way, trying to get into every dwelling unit is proving to be extremely time consuming. So our state's attorney and our state fire marshal have signed off, basically saying we can provide a letter that a tenant would sign. And basically, working smoke detectors. That's what we're supposed to be looking for. And then if they have any concerns, they could tell us. But basically, if they say I'm good, we're going to take their word for it. They're going to give the piece of paper things, and it will hopefully make the office a lot efficient. But one of the things that we've been going around, we've been finding some pretty interesting things. So I wanted to read this real quick. Something that we saw. We did an inspection at one of the apartment complexes in Newington, and it was found that a light wasn't working. And because we're going in and doing all of these individual inspections, this was in a particular dwelling unit. The light was dim, didn't really appear that it had sufficient power. So it prompted the property management to look into it. And as I'm sure you're aware, aluminum wiring, connected to copper wiring has to be done in a specific way. This particular, the aluminum feeders going into the panel were loose, was causing voltage drops. So that actually prompted the property management to go around and look at all of them to make sure that everything was safe as it could be. So, just one example of the effectiveness of trying to get in, because you see things that you might not necessarily see as you just walk through the hallways. This is one of the things that John ended up catching, and this particular property management company, went above and beyond and said, well, if there's an issue in this particular panel, we're going to look at them all. They were responsive to making sure that their building was what it be. So, like I said, we're busy, but we're getting stuff.
Well, by your reports, we can definitely tell that you're getting things done, and it's to me, it's pretty amazing that 2 sheets of projects that you got going on, and it is very interesting. And thank you, excellent job. Thank you.
It speaks well for our tax base in town.
Yeah, absolutely. Commissioner
Oh, I'm
DeMayo.
totally blown away as to what I have in front of me. I don't understand how you guys are able to do what you're doing. Whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, this is just incredible and amazing. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
DJ, just one thing. How are we doing on like a, for lack of better words, like a backlog? But we're getting pretty well caught up to.
Yeah, we're holding pretty steady. So my plan is that as the per diem staff comes in, we're maintaining our inspections for each month now, and we'll start chipping away.
Okay,
So
good.
By the end of the year, we should see a significant increase in the call it compliance.
Excellent. Great, thank you. Anything else on monthly reports. Is about it. Okay, ledger status.
I'm gonna make a motion, we table ledger status until we get an updated report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whole business. Let's start out with the radio system. What do we have to report, Chief? Chiefs Trommers and Nico.
I really don't have much to report. I really haven't had much communication on it. So I was informed that there was a kickoff meeting of some sort over the last week. But really didn't know anything about it. I know you had a conversation with James that there was a meeting coming up, I believe, next week. But we still have heard nothing on that.
Okay.
That's about all I know about it. I just found in the town council meeting the other night that they were hiring the consultant that from phase one, they were looking to possibly hire them for phase two, which is the actual allocation of the equipment, the placement of the equipment and so forth. I just don't, because it said it was a security reason that they wouldn't release what it was. So I don't know what that actually entailed or what their job description would be going forward.
Okay. All right.
That's where we're at with it, unfortunately.
Okay, hopefully we'll have news
Now,
forthcoming.
you know, it's just. I know we signed the paperwork back in December, January, but here we are in March and it's like. It's not moving anywhere.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
I don't think you should sit back and give them another week. This is ridiculous. 3 months. To schedule a meeting. And then the chief doesn't even know about a kickoff meeting. That's ridiculous. Person that should be involved in this.
All
Chief.
three public safety chiefs should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They're going around and it's backwards. We thought, Nico and I thought we were on the right path. We're off the path again. Ridiculous.
Chief Schumer, can I comment?
Start barking.
Just for awareness, EMS's repeater blew up last week, in the middle of the day, during 2 motor vehicle accidents. They completely died during the day until they figured out that it wasn't working. I had to go out there and manually switch it over to a backup, which I provided to the town because there was no backup. The radio system continues to have immense amounts of interference on a daily basis, which is causing traffic to sound like complete garbage, and it's causing audio transmission. Undescribable.
Throughout
Throughout
all
the US.
services, all service,
Hit them as a whole.
does that include human services
It's one count.
on top? So everybody's having a decision.
Retrofitted old radios that were in service, taken into service, out of service, taken into service. Multiple installs in a vehicle that we shouldn't have had to do this. We had it pre-wired for the new radio, and old radios. So we're gonna have to do this over and over again. EMS bought 2 ambulances and they have to have old radios wired into. We have to find a fuse for it. One of their buses, actually, their radio blew up on a Saturday. We had to take a radio to bus that was service to fight that one. We have multiple portables that we can't get parts for. So the chief has allowed me to try and make it work. But we're really falling into the bottom of the toilet bowl of having nowhere to go. And there's only so much we can do at a certain point where the chiefs and you guys have pushed, we just need answers. It's like we're talking to a wall sometimes, and I can't blame anybody if we're not getting information.
The question for you, and I know it's a different service, but we're all here for the good of the town. When the EMS radio system went kerplunk, well, how did they communicate?
They did not.
What did they use, like text messaging or stuff?
We're
acceptable. And we certainly can't be using cell phones in a fire or a police officer chasing somebody.
Our system, if our did go down, we do have the possibility of going to a back baseball. But we have one computer at school that when it goes down, it goes down. So they have zero communication. And it's absolutely notification. And the problem is they won't know the radios. Know they're necessarily going to a call.
Right, using it.
And I believe that the dispatcher is the one that noticed that the radios. The actual units, because they weren't able to communicate with the crew.
Right.
So again, that's their system is separate from our system.
Right.
That one is separated. They have their own equipment at the high school. Fire, EMS, Board of Ed, everybody else is, or fire, PD, everybody else is on the state, not the state system.
Right.
So there is a separation in that.
Okay.
But I know you talked to James, what was Friday, Friday,
Last week.
and he did say it was maybe up, we just haven't heard anything.
We can reach back out to them and see if that date's still concrete.
I think that definitely needs to be clear.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Anything else on that? Truck 2 update. That's Jack.
Truck news.
Set in town for training. I had a conversation with the foreman over at fireman and Councilman. We're hoping half of that week from this Friday. It's gonna go on South Windsor, they're gonna be installed in the last week. It has to be done, and a couple things up back. Should have it Friday, and then.
Well, we do have it. It is in town. It came from the factory. So, because our last meeting, we had just gotten back from the factory, so they.
Well, and basically the truck, we had it here for 3 days, and then got put back in our training was done. And
Great. All right. Grant update. Chief Lop.
We're very close to putting in a grant for a drone. We're just waiting for the verbiage to come back on the narrative that I provided to Sonia, our grant writer. I did that last night, so that should be back within a day or so. And we also last night finished up on the addendum that they sent back for the Safer grant, which is the sign out front for historical, if we fall into any historical housing or gonna end up being on any regulations doing, like if it were an old Weathersfield that you could
Right.
change the color of your front door without a caucus.
Right.
So that's gonna be resubmitted probably tomorrow.
Okay.
With that what they asked for, we're gonna submit that back out completed.
Excellent.
So
There's two other things, in grants, we actually submitted another AFG grant this year, which was submitted on time. That grant is for personal thermal imagers for every Scott pack in the department. Those are, they're called SEEK thermal imagers. Those will actually be for every Scott pack that we have for the department. Also that will replace our larger thermal imagers in our engines. So Chief Lavier also worked on that with our vendor MES. Got all the documentation in for that, and that was submitted on time, which I believe was in early March that it was due. So that is also in, but we won't hear anything on that probably till
next year.
August, September-ish timeframe is usually how that plays out.
Great,
And then while we're talking about grants, I know it's not a grant, but the ISO review is in. We are waiting, Chief Levier reached out to our ISO rep. Everything was submitted. She's just waiting on the final documentation to come back to see what our rating is. But we don't see any major discrepancies. She didn't. So we're hoping to continue with our rating of ISO 3, which is the best that we can do for a department, volunteer department. So hopefully we'll stay at that rating. But we should be hearing probably within the next week or two on that.
I think there's some paid departments that like to be rated as a 3.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you, chief. The company for firehouse and space needs update, we talked about that at the last month's meeting, and we did submit a thing to the town council that they gave us. So we'll just have to wait and see where that goes.
Absolutely.
The Chief Regina, this is your bag, update of tablets and transition to Alpine software for department.
So transition's the easier one. We are still moving ahead. Alpine was supposed to load some information this evening. I haven't had a chance to check it yet because they didn't tell us till about 5:30 tonight. So obviously busy. The MDT is in my vehicle, has been there. It needs some reconfiguration by our town IT department. The security that they placed on the device is a little bit overdone. Meeting with tomorrow to show him how to do it. They'll correct it. Have some suggestions on that. John Hoffman has been helping with some things along with DJ in regards to keeping Red NMX and the Alpine people on task. We now have a
Excellent. So hopefully within the next 5-6 weeks, we'll
like I said,
see the new,
company one started doing their reports today. So
it's working good.
and
Excellent. Great. Update on RFP for third-party billing for new fee schedule.
That was the vendor.
We'll do that.
I'll do that.
Okay. Great. And the final thing under old business is the chief evaluations, and I'm happy to say that the commissioners and the chiefs met, and we reviewed all the evaluations except for one deputy chief that was out for business out of town, which we will be doing very, very soon. And it went very, very well. And I'd just like to say thank you to the commissioners and to all the chiefs for all your hard work in getting that done. And it was very pleasant to speak with the chiefs and all of our deputies about their progress and everything. And we are very, very lucky to have the staff that we have. Thank you. Commissioner Stoddard, would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I was impressed with all of that we do, all that our chiefs do. And I've said this before, I think our chief staff probably does more work than most paid chiefs, so they're doing a heck of a job, and I appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Commissioner DeMayo, would you like to add to the conversation?
Absolutely. This is the second time for me to get involved in the chief's evaluations, and this department and its command staff is second to none. Every one of the chiefs does an outstanding job, and I know how hard that they work on a daily basis. So you guys just totally blow me away, and keep up the good work. And if there's anything that that I can personally do to help in any way, shape, or form, please reach out.
Once again, thank you. We're very blessed in this town to have the fire department that we have. And couldn't say enough about it. Thank you.
Well, in that note, you could bring up that many of the fire departments around us are emulating what we're doing, or trying to.
Just under new business, I was actually gonna bring that up.
Okay,
Well, we're up to new business now.
we have we'll add in any objections from the commissioners to add a segment of new business in?
No, not at all.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank
There's
you.
actually a couple of things.
Okay, chief.
First one is. By Representative Gary Turco. To attend a public hearing that's gonna be for House Bill number 525, I believe it is. Which is basically gonna be a grant. Mobile, fire truck, the rigs. And the fees that we go into replacing. He wants. So the area departments to go is even behalf of our department, what it is. And Gary's aide reached out to Commissioner DeMaio, who reached out to me, and wrote a little letter over to his aide to basically explain to them what we happen. We have 5 apparatus that need to have our tanks cleaned out, plus basically put all new foam in. And I put a whole thing together and it came out to about $44,000 that's gonna cost us to do all of that. So basically what this public hearing is just to explain how a lot of these unfunded state mandates are hurting municipalities and what the need for these grant programs are. So we're gonna go to try to speak. We're gonna try to get as much funding as we can from the state to offset the cost to the town. We don't feel it's fair that the town has to pay for these because the state's not. So hopefully we'll get a positive review for it. There are many people that are pushing in the right direction. I believe it's Representative Gary Turco, Representative Kate Rivera, and Matt Lester is part of it. So there are quite a few people that are pushing. So we're hoping that we can get some funding back for it.
Excellent.
I believe that with the 24th.
Next Friday, the 24th at 11 o'clock. And if Chief, if you're gonna go, I would love to be able to accompany you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go too, Frank.
all right.
Great.
The second thing I was good to consultant review of the Weather bill. I just want to comment on the literature was on basically the last couple pages of the consultant report. I can't think the staff that we have here, what they basically it was recommendations for what this bill could do. And a lot of it was collaboration with your regional. And basically, the last 5 bullet points were all Newington. Weathersfield should go against our recruitment and retention. And kudos to Chief Stegmeyer and his staff that, I mean, he has a staff of about 10 people that just do a tremendous job to get people into this department and continue to work hard. The second one was they should mirror our training staff. Kudos to Chief Regina and his staff. They work hard every day of the week. We just had a big ice rescue drill that people praised. We had state assets in here. We had people from all over. They brought training to our department. And there was a couple others that were also as part of that full report. But I'd like to forward it to you guys so you can read it.
Absolutely.
This way you can understand. Yeah. So this was not just, this was the consultant that basically overviewed what it built fire department, what they could do. Their staffing is at very critical levels right now. They're at 36 members, which is not good for a department that side. Chief Troll has worked very hard to try to get that done. But I actually was on a Zoom meeting the other day listening to the consultant give the report to the Weathersfield people, and it was like, well, can Newington do what they can do? It's kudos to our entire staff for what they do. So thank you all for what you do.
Excellent. And it's from the top right down to the newest guy that came through the door the other day. It's our fire marshals, our chiefs, it's everybody. And a couple minutes ago, when we first started, I was talking to Commissioner Stoddard, how I'm just shocked that in the last 2.5 years, how the progress of this department has gone through the roof. And it has. And everywhere you go, it's like, oh, Newington, man, they got it together. Everywhere you go, Newington's got it together. How can you have so many guys in Newington? How can you? So it just proves we're doing something right.
Except for the radios, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Except for the radios, doing pretty darn good.
The one thing I do want to.
Right.
So Craig and his staff especially try to find innovative ways to get people. Done open, all kinds of different things. And it's their group that's working very hard to help us out, so, you know, we don't take our foot off the pedal. Continuing to move forward and.
Awesome. And to think we have 30 cadets in the wings waiting to get on.
Well, in the last month, I believe, Craig.
Totally, we have 10 applications to process right, which is amazing.
Or for cadets? For membership or for cadets?
Membership.
Wow.
Yes. I'm expecting cadets to come in. Career Day is coming up.
March 30th.
Is it?
Yeah.
So we have a career day coming up at the high school and get out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're very busy. A lot of community events coming up. Saturday, Engine 1 is going out to become the autism truck. It's gonna have a whole wrap done. I don't know if you see the pictures in the bathroom.
Don't see the picture.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
But we're gonna put it out and announce it Saturday because we're gonna put it out for corporate sponsors. So a picture of it. Design's gonna be coming out. It's actually pretty excited. Should be done by I'm hoping Wednesday next week. We already have its first event booked for April 4th in Berlin, the Autism Families of Connecticut. Tuesday night, their board of directors are coming down here to talk to us and see how we can further partnership with them, because the money that we raise, the profit that we raise is going towards them.
Yeah, so just so everybody's aware, this is a fundraiser. The department will not be taking any money in.
Right.
All the money that we bring in, well, I shouldn't say that. The cost to originally wrap the truck. Whatever we take on top of that, will go to the autism.
It's gonna be a win-win for them, and it's gonna be a win-win for us because we're out there in the community, actually. Be all over the
Number
state.
one.
It's
Yep.
crazy, like.
Awesome.
Almost like a pink.
Feature.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. Anything else under new business, chief?
Just one last thing, this past year was the first year that the chiefs had to pay in back on their vehicles. Never in the past have we had to do that. We did find a policy in the town that I'd like to forward to you, that you can, the finance department.
Certainly.
That can be done.
Yeah.
It basically exempts fire chiefs and deputy chiefs as long as they're a marked vehicle. But there's a whole policy on the town vehicles, so I don't want to create a big issue with it. If you can talk to Janet and see if there's anything that could be done, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Certainly we will. You can forward me that. We'll discuss it with her.
Information and at least can,
Sure.
just, you know, offset our costs a little bit.
Sure. I know we have never paid. So what I'm hearing is that you're being charged a tax as a benefit,
Kind of like a luxury tax of using them.
right? And I know we've never been charged that in the past, so.
There is a policy in the town that. Make a big issue about it,
Right.
if you can just talk to the finance director, if there's anything that can be done.
Certainly,
So be it.
we will forward me that and I'll get right on it. Thank you.
And then one last thing on the new business, Commissioner, the pension, did we reach out to Janet and try to set something up, that you guys gonna wait for the budget?
We're gonna wait till after the budget season and then start working on that.
Because I did have a discussion with Council Page, and he's very, helping with the backlog.
Yeah.
And I did talk to Janet about it as well, because we had somebody recently retired, we had a hard time getting numbers.
Yeah, and we've been talking about changing that person. Yes, she does. We have not. Work on that too.
Thank you.
Anything else? Nothing else under new business?
One other thing under new business I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
April 4th, the town council will be recognizing the volunteer of the year. Commissioner Stoddard, congratulations for 50 years of service to the Newington Fire Department.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's April 4th.
April
at
the
the town
4th,
council
town
chambers,
council meeting, 7:00.
7:00. Okay, volunteer of the year. Congratulations, sir.
And I've only been a commissioner for 30 years.
Yeah, I know.
30
I know.
years as
You still
commissioner.
got 20
Wow.
more to go.
Yeah, you're still a young pup.
Wait a minute.
He's railroading you now, so. All right, thank you, Commissioner. All right, we'll move on to public participation for the last time. I would like to speak.
I'd just like to comment on our department's response at the last couple of fires that we've had. The guys have done a tremendous job, and especially the call the other day on Edward Street, garage fire that they made a tremendous stop on, so. Responded to that call and did a tremendous job on that. And just all the calls that we've had recently. We had a statistic that was sent to us the other day that this year alone, our call volume has went up 46% from the past 3. So just the month of February, we went up 46% past 3 years. That's a tremendous amount of call volume on a volunteer department. So I want to thank every one of our members for responding and doing what they do on a regular basis. So kudos to everybody.
And just to add to that, Chief, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our mutual aid task force out of town is up over 100%.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of towns are hurting for membership, and yes, we are responding quite a bit lately. So, and our rates are going out. You know,
I don't think there's a week that goes by where we're not going to aid somebody out of town.
They don't go. Ours on them.
Right.
It takes a lot of commitment to go over there, stand by for, you guys do it without any hesitation.
But one thing also to add to that, and Mr. Sokolowski also being a deputy in West Hartford, we would never go to West Hartford, and with the collaboration of our chief and the chief of West Hartford, now we're even going to West Hartford to stand by, give them whatever support they need from us. And we're absolutely happy to do it, to go to Station 3 and cover their south end of town. So,
Absolutely. I think we went probably 4 or 5 times.
yep,
It's been working out very, very well.
yep. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Anybody else have a public participation? Chief Traumer, ex-Chief Traumer, past Chief Traumer.
This town doesn't know what they have. The fire department is the biggest asset they have. And I just sit back and I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the people that talk about this department. All the way down to the fire marshal, I should say, up to the top of the fire marshal. I can't fathom what they do. And the fire department itself, the calls you get, unbelievable.
Just think how much it's changed since you were chief.
Unreal.
And we're going to calls that we never went to before.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to stuff that we've never gone to.
Well, we can tell how things have changed. We think the pictures come out in the last couple of days when he was building a training tower with the old truck too.
Lifting the panels up, 1980. Get her done. That comedian, get her done. That's what we do.
The old days.
Sure is, sure is. DJ, is there anyone online? Anybody else? Final time?
Just one last thing, you know, just keep sharing your thoughts and prayers with the unexpected loss of her mother. We wish her family the best. You know, it was sad to hear.
Anybody that's interested, the funeral is tomorrow at 12:30.
Tomorrow, 12:30.
Newington Memorial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank will be there.
And for those of you that don't know Sherry, Sherry is our administrative assistant. She's kind of the backbone of the department. She's like the glue that keeps us all together. And it was her mom that passed away unexpectedly, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her and her family. And let it be known that we're behind you 100%, and the department will do anything we have to pull you through it. Like everybody. That's what we're here for.
That sounds like a commissioner's remark.
That was my remark, yes. How about Commissioner Stoddard? What would you like to say in your remarks?
My comment is that I think the fire department, the fire marshal's office, and everything has come about because of the leadership at the top, leadership at all of the positions. John and everybody that's involved, we have great leadership, and people aren't afraid to do things. They look at what needs to be done and get it done. So it like
People working together.
Chief Trommer said, I'm amazed.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeMayo.
Well,
And we have to wish you well, because you're going in for a little thing, and we wish you well next week.
thank you. Thank you very much. I had the pleasure the other night of meeting with the chief officers of this department. And one of the things that we talked about, and I specifically remember, was the most important thing that was communication. Communication is absolutely the key to what each and every one of the command staff officers does for this department. And it totally blows me away when I get the opportunity to respond during the day sometimes. And I'll specifically talk to the Edgewood garage fire, only because while I was standing there, I ended up looking at all of the men and women of this department, and I was just like, I'm looking and I went, we got more people here during the day than they do in a paid department. Hats off to everyone in this department for the outstanding job that we do on a daily basis. And we're not afraid to get our hands dirty. And I'm glad that I'm part of this process. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yes, it is.
Okay, with that
Motion
said, I'll
adjourned.
be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Thank
We're
you.
done.
Hold on a minute, guys. Let me